This is Sunderland RCA TV, your direct line inside the Sunderland LGV Park. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so by clicking on the button underneath and also clicking on the bell icon so that you get informed whenever we release new content. You're watching RCA TV News on the 12th of July. Coming up in today's bulletin, we've got news of the opening Wearside League fixtures for our reserve team that were announced at the weekend. We also have an in-depth look at the early rounds of the FA Cup and FA Vars as they affect clubs in our league. But before all of that, we've got news of a new signing for the RCA first team. It's currently a mystery signing, but the player has put pen to paper following training at the LGV Park last night. The utility player, who's 19 years old, was previously with a Football League side. However, due to confidentiality issues with his previous club, we're unable to release his name until he takes his place in the lineup for our match with Horden at the weekend. So the identity of the player will be revealed shortly before kick-off in that match. But it's an exciting signing and we're delighted to welcome the player to the LGV Park, and he becomes the 22nd addition to Dave Dixon and Callum Brown's squad. Okay, turning now our attention back to the RCA reserve team, and just 2 fixtures have been announced for the side in August. The way the Wearside League works is that they release their fixtures on a month-by-month rolling basis rather than announcing the fixtures for the entire season. And so home fans unfortunately will have to wait until at least September before they get a chance to see John Bernickel and Dom Thomas's side in competitive action, because the opening 2 fixtures of the season are both away from home. RCA reserves will travel to the Deanbank Recreation Ground to take on Ferry Hill Athletic on the 12th of August. That's their opening game in the Wearside League Division 1 following their promotion last season. And then they'll follow that up with a trip to Beachfield Park a week later on the 19th of August to take on Coxhoe Athletic. So we will of course bring you all the latest with the reserve team and their build up to those 2 games as the season approaches. The reserves were in action at the weekend and went down 5-1 to Borough Rangers under-21s. They're next in action this Saturday when they travel to face DNS Valley. Turning our attention now to an in-depth look at the FA Cup and Vars draws as they affect clubs in our division. So let's start off with the extra preliminary round. Of course, we already know that RCA will be at home to West Allotment Celtic in the first, or rather in the extra preliminary round, that game taking place at the LGV Park on Saturday, the 5th of August. So the other games, it's an all Division 1 tie between Heaton Stan and Towlaw Town. Probably you'd have to make the Stan the favourites for that one. North Shields, of course, newly relegated themselves from the pitching in Northern Premier League, or should I say demoted to give their correct term. They were, of course, demoted due to ground grading issues, nothing to do with their performance on the pitch. So they will be facing a side that has effectively taken their place, Ashington, away in that opening round. Difficult one to call that. There's another all Division 1 tie between West Auckland Town and Northallerton Town, and Gisborough Town will take on last year's Division 1 League champions Newton Aycliffe. Newton Aycliffe, of course, just promoted to the Northern Premier League. Seaham Red Star, our neighbours, are at home to the team that are no longer in our league, Pickering Town. Of course, were involved with us in a relegation battle last season. Pickering, though, were moved across to the Northern Counties East League during the pre-season period. Whitley Bay will take on Garforth Town, also from that league. Bishop Auckland will take on another Northern Counties East side, a Northern Premier East side, Bridlington Town. Pontefract Collieries will face newly promoted Birtley Town. This, I believe, is Birtley Town's first ever match in the FA Cup. North Ferriby, who of course themselves in recent years have been as high up as the conference, recently reformed following financial problems at the club, but they're rapidly on the way back again. They're at home to Crooktown. Wickham will be at home to Carlisle City in another all First Division clash. Tadcaster Albion from the Northern Counties East will take on Redcar Athletic, and of course should Sunderland RCA get through against West Allotment Celtic, this is who we will face, the winners of this tie, at the LGV Park on the 19th of August. Yet another First Division, all First Division clash. Newcastle Benfield against Shildon. Shildon, of course, newly relegated, genuine relegation from the pitching in Northern Premier League. Yet another all First Division tie between Penrith and Borough Rangers. Again, Borough Rangers, as far as I'm aware, playing their first ever match in the competition. We'll just have a quick look, because it's a bit more complex, about the sides that, if they get through, who they'll play. So in the preliminary round, it's Pontefract, Collieries or Birtley against Gisborough or Newton Aycliffe. It's Wickham or Carlisle against Whitley Bay or Garforth. Of course, ourselves or West Allotment against Tadcaster or Redcar. Bishop Auckland or Bridlington will play Seaham or Pickering. Hebburn Town, of course, from the Northern Premier League, will play either Heaton or Towlaw. Penrith or Borough Rangers will play Kendal Town or Consett. West Auckland Town or Northallerton will play Newcastle Benfield or Shildon. Stockton Town, of course, agonisingly missed out in the playoffs for promotion to the Northern Premier League Premier Division last season, went out on penalties. And of course we're playing them in a pre-season friendly. They'll be at home to Ashington or North Shields. That one looks a pretty attractive tie. And Liversedge, Northern Premier League side from the Bradford area, they're at home to North Ferriby or Crooktown. So that completes the FA Cup draw. Let's have a quick look at the early rounds of the FA Vars. Of course, the first round qualifying, we were lucky enough to get a bye, but let's look at the other ties. Easington Colliery will face Thornaby, that's an all Division 2 clash. Chester Street United take on Blythe Town, another all Division 2 clash. Crooktown v Towlaw Town, that is an all Division 1 clash. Prudhoe Seniors will take on Harrogate Railway Athletic from the Northern Counties East League. Northallerton Town against Chesterley Street Town is a Div 1 v Div 2 clash. Wickham take on Campion, another side from the Bradford area, Northern Counties East side. Silsden, another club from that division, take on Newcastle Blue Star. Quite an attractive tie, that one. Penrith take on Pickering. Garforth against West Allotment Celtic. Barnoldswick Town from the North-West Counties League will take on Billingham Synthonia. Birtley Town against Sunderland West End, down near neighbours. Carlisle City v Garstang. Heaton v Thackley, another North Counties East League side from the Bradford area. West Auckland Town v Washington. Padiham, that is a North West Counties League side, against Jarrow. Cone, club with a great track record in this competition, again from the North West Counties League side, will play Newcastle Benfield. Albion Sports, yet another team from the Bradford area, take on Billingham Town. Tadcaster Albion versus Borough Rangers. Shildon against Knaresborough Town. Excuse me. Eshwinning against Redcar Athletic. And Bolden against Steeton. And finally, let's have a look at the second qualifying round. So it's Tadcaster or Borough Rangers against Chesterley Street or Blythe. It's Gisborough against Redcar Town. Heaton or Thackley against Ilkley. Easington Colliery or Thornaby v Crook or Towlaw. Our near neighbours, Sunderland West End, if they get past Birtley, will be away to Wickham or Campion. It's Prudhoe or Harrogate Railway v Albion Sports or Billingham Town. Garforth Town or West Allotment against AFC Blackpool. Northallerton Town or Chesterley Street Town versus Nelson. North West Counties League side with a proud history, Nelson. They were actually, interesting facts about Nelson, the first English team ever to beat Real Madrid when they played them when Nelson were previously a Football League club in the 20s. They're also unbeaten at Old Trafford, Nelson, playing their only league fixture at Old Trafford. They drew. So some interesting facts there for you. Yorkshire Amateur will take on Bishop Auckland. Kendal Town or Route 1 Rovers versus Newcastle University. Silsden or Newcastle Blue Star v Barnoldswick Town or Billingham Symphonia. North Shields versus West Auckland Town or Washington. Eschwinning or Redcar Athletic v Padiham or Jarrow. Cone or Newcastle Benfield v Carlisle City or Garstang. There's confirmation of our own fixture, which of course I'm sure you're all aware of, away at Seaham Red Star. These matches taking place on Saturday the 23rd of September. Shildon or Knaresborough versus Bolton or Steeton. And finally, Brighton and Crook Albion will play the winners of the Penrith or Pickering Town tie. These are the only rounds of the competition that have been drawn so far. The rounds for the next round on takes place after this second set of matches in each competition have been made. So that's it. Next update will probably be on Friday, when we look forward to the two weekend games. Of course, the Robert Alderson Trophy final for the first team, that match being played at Eschwinning in that pre-season competition, and of course the reserves trip to DNS. But for now, you are up to date.